Hey everybody, another interview this week. Tonight we have Nikhil, is that how I say your name?
Nikhil, yeah, man. How you
Nikhil
doing?
from New Zealand, a thrash metal rock band guy. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, man. Getting there, still alive.
Right on. Okay, let's just get right into it. The name of your band, it's right there on your shirt. How
Yeah.
do we say the name of your band?
Yeah, it's Anuclypse.
Anuclypse. Okay,
Yeah.
how did we get this name?
I always try to avoid this question. Basically what happened was in 2007, I wanted to, I started a band, obviously. And it was funny because at that time, I was going around telling people I can play guitar and shit like that, but I've never touched guitar in my life. So I had to sort of, and I think most people knew that he's never played guitar in his life. So I bought a guitar and I started playing guitar. And obviously when it came to the crunch time, which is, getting, a name for your band, I had a couple names, in my head I was trying to brainstorm with, which was, apocalypse and nuclear, and I assume that nuclear is it's even the government uses nuclear, so I was like, let's cut nuclips and just cut nuclear and apocalypse.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And I put a in front of it, so it became a new clips.
Okay, I get it. I feel it. It's hard to pronounce right off the bat, though. We banter
Yeah.
about here, like, okay, who's gonna be right? I was wrong. I was on a whole nother,
Yeah.
level with this. But thanks for
Well,
clearing.
what did you think it was?
I was saying Anuclypse, and I was like trying to get. I don't know. I bantered on a few other ones, but
Yeah, yeah. I tell you, there's a lot of different pronunciation.
What's the worst one you've heard?
Oh, let's just see. Worst one. I'll tell you a funny story. I was seeing this girl in 2010, just local, and I went to her house, and her mum, she went, what's your band called? And I was like, oh, read the T-shirt. And I was just being cheeky, and she was being cheeky as well. So she goes, oh, is that anus clips? Anus lips? And I was like going, and I was like, fuck, I think, but yeah, that's, I think that's one of the funniest, I look, I mean, take a bit of,
Anus lips is a bit off. I mean, I don't know how you get there, but I'll go with it. I love it.
I think a lot of the haters, they email with, someone made a video on YouTube, one of the B-side versions. They made a South Park remix,
Wow.
and the South Park remix of Timmy, or just anus lips, South Park, a new clips remix or something like that, and it was funny. And I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just good publicity if someone's just gonna.
I want a South Park remix of me. Okay, you are a. Is it? Are you gonna? What do you consider yourself? Heavy metal, thrash metal? What is your sound?
It's funny because obviously I look at rock and roll as the word like my favorite bands are like Motorhead, Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Metallica, Sabbath, and a lot of the good stuff. But I'll just go with, I think it's safe to say heavy metal. I mean, obviously thrash, yes, but if people expect me to stick with sort of one genre, I mean, this guy, emailed me saying you gotta get rid of the clean intro. It's not thrash, it's poser. And I'm like going, it's like, geez, So people have certain expectations of when you say, you're this, they expect, oh, you can't have, a ballad, or maybe you can't have this, it's selling out. I'm like, bro, I'm broke as shit. How's that selling?
I love it. So on that topic, here's the thing. I talked to a band called Black Jacket there from Florida. I don't know if you've seen the interview. It's out there.
Yeah, I actually did watch the interview.
Okay. So
Yeah.
right off the bat, if you listen to their music, it's kind of close to a what is it? Heavy metal. They went with hard rock, and during the conversation, he made sure I got the vibe that being called heavy metal isn't that awesome. Now in America, maybe because heavy metal is sort of expanded outward, and it's gotten farther to the fringe. And you're claiming it. Is this a New Zealand thing, or is this just something that it's not dead? It's there. I just don't know what it is.
I think I personally, it's always hard to. It's when you have to explain to people what sort of music it is, especially like if I go around the supermarket and I'm talking to an elderly lady, and she's interested and she's obviously in the music, and then she's asking me what sort of music, and I was like, man, if I tell her it's thrash metal, she's gonna just gonna run off. So I tell her it's rock and roll, it's hard rock, it's I mean it all evolved from blues, rock, hard rock. I mean, so it's I'm still getting used to. I usually just go with heavy metal because because there's a lot of I've met few people who who are very anal about oh, you can't have this on thrash, you have to play every song 300 miles an hour, and I'm like going, I've got songs that are different styles, and so it's hard to explain, but you'd go with heavy metal, rock and roll,
So on a personal level, you'll say rock and roll. I dig that a lot because I think that there's rock and roll, there's R&B, and then there's hip hop now, and everything else is kind of a version of.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a lot of modern rock bands, they are, like I'm talking about, and the big successful modern rock, they're good bands. There's some good bands, but then we have some bands. It's just personal taste, but I'm not gonna say names, but I think we are lacking of. We aren't in touch with the blues nowadays. As a guitarist, I love blues, and there's a little quote, Zakk Wylde. I think I was watching one of his interviews. I think it was for the Deep Purple's remachined, the covers album. Mm-hmm. That all the bands did, and he mentioned something. Zakk Wylde said, "Shredding is shredding, and playing blues is playing music." And they were talking about the whole, thing about how heavy metal has evolved into so many different things, but we've lost touch with, say, the blues. Mm-hmm. And I love blues. It's rock and roll. That's as rock and roll as it can get.
It's like the bass, yeah.
It's
the root that makes rock and roll for sure.
Yeah. That's right.
You're in New Zealand, right?
Oh yeah, for now.
For now, so you have plans. What? Okay, before we get into what your plans are,
I want to move to America. I want to go to SF. That's all, anywhere in America. SF would be one of the places.
Why is it that you want to leave New Zealand? Is it for music, or is it New Zealand? I'm here in Hawaii. When you grow up here in Hawaii on a little island in the middle of the Pacific, one of the things one decides to do is, when do I get the fuck off of this rock? You know what I mean? It's sort of, a lot of people have that vibe, and then, a lot of people go away. I've gone away, and then you end up coming home because it's your home. It's where you grow up.
Obviously, you miss, I went to holiday to Singapore, and then 1 month I was missing home. Yeah. But, for music-wise, that's the ideal. It's either England or States, obviously, because especially, and New Zealand's got some great death metal bands, and there's a good metal bands here. But for what I do is something I think would be more appreciated over in say a cool places like say Hawaii or States or England or Europe, And it really depends. I'm really certain. Obviously I'm dedicated to my music, and especially with the lineups. I started the band in 2007, and I had so many lineup changes, and that affects the progress of a band. And I've kept it all going, So I'm hoping, because I've got a lineup. We've just finishing up the halfway through our recording our album at the moment, and so hopefully I'm aiming at about 2015 or early 2015. I want to move to States, and just start gigging over there, and rock and roll.
Right on. What are your influences?
I've got heaps of influence. I mean, you say like from blues to fusion, jazz, hard rock, metal. I mean, if you categorize, it's hard to say, but like when I picked up guitar, I looked up to Hendrix. I love Hendrix, and the fact that inspired me to get better playing guitar was the fact that Hendrix didn't know how to read music or write music. And when I started playing guitar, everyone was like, "Oh, look at that guy! You have to music theory." And I mean, I can't even read tabs.
Nice.
And I tell you, I mean, this is just gonna make me sound not so cool among a few people, but I don't even know the names of chords on guitar. And I mean, I know E sharp, but that's about it. And so Hendrix was a big influence on just telling me, just play from your heart and just play what you love. And he obviously metal wise, Black Sabbath, big one, Metallica, Megadeth, and all the good stuff. But being said, all these good thrash bands, I've got influence. He's by the new wave of British heavy metal scene. Obviously Priest and Saxon, Diamond Head. There's some I was trying to find Brian Tetler from Diamond Head on Twitter, and I was like, man, he's not on Twitter anymore. I don't know if he ever was, but I'm big fan of Diamond Head as well. So, but yeah, heaps of influence. So it's hard to say one.
That's cool. What do you play a lot? Like, do you get a chance to play? I mean, you said your lineup has changed plenty.
I'll tell you, haven't had a gig in a few years. And what I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm just, I've found a lineup which, early 2013 I want to do the grand comeback to gigs, and obviously with the album, releasing tracks, be good to get going. And I hate not being able to gig. That's part of one reason why I want to get out of here ASAP.
Is there no scene for you to do that in New Zealand?
It's I mean, we've got some great bands here. We've got a few good, like it. I mean, when I say music wise, nowadays we are so fussy about a lot of things. When you try to audition, obviously, a lot of things matters. I mean, I tried to audition this guy. He said Black Sabbath is overrated, and that was, and I was like, I know this guy. This is gonna be the longest audition ever. And honestly, we only jammed for 20 minutes, but I knew straight away that when he said Black Sabbath is overrated, this is like punching me on my face. I'm big fan of Sabbath, and then you'd have ones who would want to do that, change the direction, and so it's very tough to find like-minded musicians who want to do the same, have the same passion on dedication is the word,
Mm-hmm.
So someone who's hungry, that's you only live once, so live it loud, sort of thing,
Yeah. When you do get back on the touring or playing gigs, what could somebody expect from your show?
Sorry, what was that?
When you do start playing again, what can someone expect from a show of yours?
A lot of loud music, man. And what else can you expect? I'll say a great fucking show, I reckon. I mean, I usually say if I don't perform, I'll personally hand out the door charge fees from my pocket.
That's cool.
So I'm very, it's all about performance, and when you go on there, you gotta, give everyone a good time.
Okay, I went to listen to some of your tracks. I went to I got the link for your Reverb Nation page.
Cool.
There's 2 tracks there. Are there more out there?
Basically, what I've done is I've decided to release a couple B-side versions of those tracks. The reason behind that was just we actually started recording and we had issues with the mixing and this and that and guitar tone, and I'm very fussy about little things. So I was like, let's just release these B-side singles, if you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And so release those. And so far I've actually got a good feedback. And but I'm gonna release a studio track from the actual CD version in a month or so. I'm doing a boxing fight to promote the next single, so I'm hoping I don't get my ass kicked.
Okay, this is awesome. Wait, so you are going to fight somebody to promote your next single?
Yes.
This is cool. How do you do that? How do you decide to do this?
I'm very I'd like to take things to the extremes in a way that in a good way. The album is called Do or Die, and it's a personal record. I've got when people ask me what is success to you, and I'm like, there's a lot of things. It's like proving a point. Yes. Is that a this and that? Is that when I say proving a point, it's not to any bands or any musician. It's just myself, my personal shit, as we all have. And so yeah, there's a lot of factors. When I say do or die, I'm gonna back it up, So yeah, I'm actually training to get my New Zealand amateur boxing license, and I tell you, I've been pretty slack training in the last 2 weeks. So, and as you can see, I've got a bear just sitting right next to me. So, fighting. I love boxing, I play club cricket. I play a lot of sports, and even doing stand-up comic to whatever.
You're multi-threat.
Oh, whatever it takes, Yeah.
I love it. So once again, to promote the newer album coming out, you are going to get in a boxing ring and fight somebody. I love it. You don't see that shit anywhere. That right there is definitely unique. When is this fight happening, and when does this album come out?
I'll tell you, I got told it's the 3rd of November. The coach, I met him at the bank. I was trying to avoid him because I haven't been training. I had lost my license for 3 months, so I just got my license back. So my car's, I think it needs better gas. I think, the car needs it's just, there's a lot of bullshit gets tied into it, So 3rd of November, that's what I got told. I was actually keen on the March date. Because my first fight was actually meant to be March start of this year, but on the way in, I got told the guy's sick, and I was pissed off because it had a crowd of about 1,500 people. And the energy there would have been a big gig, massive, and plus they got trophies and all sorts of stuff. And I'm a competitive fella. I was like, I want, they had trophies for the winner and the guy who's come losers as well, a little trophy. And I was like, I want the big one. I want to win. So, but yeah, I'm hoping 3rd of November. I'm hopefully fit. I start my cricket season this weekend, so I'm hoping no injuries. And also with boxing, I got to make sure I don't break my knuckles because I can't play guitar otherwise. Right. So
interesting. I think that's really cool.
Cheers.
I asked a few questions of everybody to have on, but before we get into those, I want to ask you one question. I went to your Facebook page, and I looked at your pictures because I wanted to post something on the blog about it, so I looked for one. And there are many pictures of you with your middle finger up in the air. And you mentioned haters earlier.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of haters, and why?
I think this is a very interesting topic. I love talking about this whole concept, but basically what I believe when I started playing guitar, I was surrounded by these guys who've been playing guitar for 5 years, trained from school, high school, and they used to like, oh, you're shit. And I'm like, bro, I've been playing guitar for like a week, just so from that day onwards, I've decided I'm gonna humiliate these guys, and it's like, a lot of young ones. I mean, a lot of people get discouraged by other people, and I was not one of them. I was like, no, I'm gonna fucking prove a point here. I'm gonna, tell them to fuck off, this and that. So, it's the competitiveness to get better. I mean, every day you learn something new. And when I started playing guitar, a lot of the critics and, my music teacher told me, you're not serious about your music, because I didn't attend exams. And I remember at the back of my exam papers, I used to draw Rey Mysterio masks and bullshit like that. My wrestling moves and so with what I've learned is you got to have haters. A lot of people, like, you ask me, are you worried? Would you be worried if you have so many haters? I'm like, the day when I don't have any haters, that's when I'll be worried.
Yeah.
So
they definitely fuel something. That's for sure. I know that when I get someone that compliments me on something, it's nice. It feels good. But there's something about the person that tells me that I'm a fucking douchebag or that I suck at what I do that is more satisfying.
Oh, yeah, because
it's fuel. It's just like, okay, fine. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. I'm going to turn it up another notch,
I'll tell you, a lot of people, I mean, especially we've got few metal elitists, or whatever you want to call it, the big chaps, I mean, nowadays, if someone's confident, straight away they're arrogance, and to a great degree, you got to believe in yourself, like blindly to, keep going. I mean, I started my band in 2007, and lineup changes. I'm still around in 2012. I mean, I've done, I haven't done fuck all big, but I'm still trying to get keep moving forward. So with a lot of these metal elitists, they can't handle the fact that there's someone who's, who wants to keep going forward and, get better. And so it's funny because if you go on newzealandmetal.com and type Anuclypse, you get an enjoyable thread of just all these some of the local bands and some of these douchebags, keyboard warriors, they typing and stuff. And with me, it's funny because they think I'm a wind-up on Facebook, and I just reply, look, it's Facebook, it's entertainment for me. I mean, if I get bored, if I have to get inspired, I'll make a fool of myself. It's how, I mean, so a lot of these conversations, sometimes the haters, they try to get a reaction from me, and I give it to them. and like, all right, you want a reaction? Here you go. And so they enjoy it. They're feeding off it, but I'm feeding off from a different energy. I'm like going, man, this is the biggest. This guy's a fucking wank bag. I'm gonna. I hope this guy gets jizzed on by some fucking dinosaur or some shit.
Yeah, I love it. That's really cool. On your Facebook page, it looked as if you were like in the newspaper and shit. Oh
well, it's funny because
how does that happen?
The local. They decided, let's just get this guy before he's fucking dead or something. Because I think I had my first newspaper pressing in 2010, and your Cambridge News, the local newspaper, and it was great. It was quite, it was good. I mean, and the next one was I think it was recently 4 months ago. And that's when the Sick Room, like a radio from, like underground radio thing from Auckland, New Zealand, they did a review as well in there. So, but you know, I looked at it as a way. I mean, I was like, well, you know, it's as long as I don't have to pay for those. Because you know, I'm like, I can't. First of all, I can't afford that kind of stuff. So I was happy. I mean, despite there was some major spelling blunders. I mean, they spelled Megadeth wrong. they put a A in, you know, in front of E, and I'm like, and so a lot of people, a lot of haters straight away, they were like, oh, is this even legal, or you just probably made this yourself? And it's like,
I know that was going to be my next question. It must have fueled some sort of hate, more hate, that you're like in the newspaper.
Yeah. Rage at internet war.
Yeah. Crazy rioting on the streets. That's hilarious.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's funny because because a lot of people were like, "Oh man, there's so many spelling mistakes. I'm pretty sure you did this on your own on Photoshop." And I'm like, "Photoshop, bro? I don't even have Microsoft Paint."
I love it. No, that's too cool. It's still kind of neat though, right? I mean, it's the newspaper. You know?
I mean, it gets distributed to about 20,000 people. Yeah. I couldn't ask for more at this stage, eh?
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's get into the questions that I ask every person that I have on the show. I ask these questions because I think I get a good sense of the person that I'm talking to. You ready?
Yeah, cool.
The first question is, are unicorns overrated?
Oh, you know, actually, it was funny because I was gonna upload a video, making of the album, and because it was funny because we were listening to Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and we went outside and it was a shitty day, so we went outside for a smoke, and we saw those double rainbows, and I was like, hey, that's a double rainbow, and you know, you probably see unicorns dancing on top. But then I changed it. I was saying, oh, actually, I'll take it back. I've got something cool to say. That's Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and Dio's on top of it, rocking it out. Nice. So unicorns, I think. Look, I personally don't even know what they look like. It's one of those things you just hear on fucking. I mean, I know they look like goat or horse or something like that.
They're a horse with a horn.
Yeah, the horses with the devil horns on or something.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna chalk this up for overrated.
Yeah, make that overrated. Okay.
Yeah. Next question: your favorite alcoholic beverage?
Milk. Nah. Honestly, I'm a cheap bastard. I mean, if I get a free beer, I'd love it. You know? But Jack Daniels would be a rum and coke. A cold beer would do. You know.
Nice. Have you ever been so drunk you fell down?
I've got a few stories. Let's just see which one is falling down on. I fell in the bonfire a couple weekends ago. Once I tried to do a moonwalk at a bar and I fell on someone's turntable, which just stopped completely. So it was kind of awkward for me. And it's like, right, that's the end of the thriller.
Yeah, that's a buzzkill for sure. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck. No, actually, I actually take it back. I don't know. Favorite curse. It's like the word you talk about a lot.
Right. I mean, fuck is mine. I use it for like.
Yeah.
You know how some people say a lot. I don't do that. I
fuck
say fuck.
It. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I say a lot. I don't know why, but it's just one of those fucking.
That's all right.
It's just as bad as typing LOL after every single text.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Lastly, what is the weirdest thing about you?
Everything, I'd say. weirdest thing about me would be, it's hard to say. I believe I'm quite a weird person. I don't know. It's hard to. I mean, it's hard. I would never.
We'll go. How about we just go with you're quite a weird person.
Was that sorry?
That's. How about we just go with it's weird that you think that you're quite a weird person.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Good. Cool. Where can people find you online?
If people, what? Sorry, what was that?
If people want to find you online, where can they find you?
They can go on Twitter. I'm on. I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm just new with this whole Twitter thing. So, you know, I've started the band page also on Twitter. But you can just pop in on my Twitter page and say hi, or just message me or message back, or even Facebook. But I'm trying to explore more of Twitter nowadays. So, you know, if you've got Twitter, just say just come along, have a chat or whatever. You know.
How do they find you on Twitter? What's your Twitter name thing?
Just type my full name, Nikhil Jade. It's Nikhil, and last name is Jade, Jade.
And they'll find you. I'll put the links. I'll put a link on the blog.
Oh, cool. Cheers.
Is there before I let you go? Is there anything else you want to tell the world?
I would say say hello to people in Hawaii. I would love to visit Hawaii someday when I've got enough money. I've just got a text from my bank saying account has been overdrawn. So that's all the texts I get from the banks. Like, but check us out. Anuclypse on YouTube. We've got our own channel. Obviously Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Give us a listen, and we should have our album coming out. I won't say any dates, but early next year, and it's all getting recorded on 2-inch 24-track tape machine. So there's no, it's a very raw, organic sound, and hopefully you like it.
Right on. Anyways, I had fun. I hope you had fun, man.
Oh yeah, it was a good interview, man. It was I'll tell you, I woke up this morning, and honestly, I was up from 3:30 in the morning. I don't know what I ate last night, but honestly, I was just going to the fucking shitter every single. I was like, fuck. I hope I'm not fucking asleep the next morning or something. Cause I was fucking, But I was like, I woke up and I did a good job, brushing my teeth and putting my glasses on so no one thinks I'm stoned or anything like that.
I think you did well. You pulled it off. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to record me one of those? Hey, this is Anuclypse. You're watching Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker, or whatever. You can say your name.
Yeah, sure.
The show's called Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker.
Hello, world. It's Nikhil Jade from the band Anuclypse, and you're watching Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker.